So this is going to be a very different video. There is not going to be memes.
Disappointed!
Every day I get asked,
Can you make a guide? How do I play Mortal Kombat 11? I just started playing Mortal Kombat 11. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help?
so I have decided to make this one-off ultimate beginner's guide. Why am I making it 18 months after the game has been released? I don't know. This video is going to help anyone that is playing Mortal Kombat 11 for the first time or playing a fighting game for the very first time. So without further ado, all you newbie players, strap yourselves in because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
When we do that new dance step, or when we just want to see how we
To start things off, what controller should you use? Should you use a console controller, a keyboard, a hitbox, an arcade stick? Well, it all comes down to whatever you are most comfortable with. If you find it's easier to do a combo with a certain controller, well then that controller is probably best for you. Now I understand most people probably don't have an option. They've just got a PS4 or Xbox controller, and the only tips I can give with that is, with those controllers you want to use the D-pad, not the analog stick. Nobody uses the analog stick, so don't be the first. Another little tip is learn to slide your thumb across the buttons. So for example, if you've got a move where you have to do square and triangle, instead of pressing each button with your thumb, square and then triangle, just slide it across from square to triangle. I hate using a controller, so I don't use a controller. I'm one of the few players that actually use a keyboard, and for those that are interested, these are my key bindings, but you should use the key bindings that suit you the best. And finally, make sure in the settings release check is off. It should always be off. You never want it on. By default, it is on. I have no idea why. It is terrible. You're gonna have to ask Ed Boon on that one. First things first, I'm gonna be using Searing Rage Scorpion and Thin Ice Sub-Zero, as they are probably the two most popular picked characters and variations. So very quickly, these are the MK11 notations. You need to learn this so you'll understand when I say back one, forward two, etc. You understand what I'm talking about. So you might have to write this down or print it out, and within a few days you'll have most of it memorized. So here we go. This is where it begins. First things first, what are the types of attacks in the game and how to defend against them? I'm gonna go over this pretty quickly because I'm sure most people understand this, but first of all, we have an overhead. You have to stand block this. How do you do this? You just hold block. If you crouch block it, you're going to get hit. Then you have lows. You have to crouch block this. You do this by holding down and holding the block button. Next we have mid attacks. You can either crouch block or stand block mid attacks. This is the same for high attacks. However, high attacks you can also duck. How do you duck? You just hold down, nothing else but down. This means you can also poke out of high attacks. Moving on to throws, you cannot block throws or generic throws or highs, meaning you can duck them. You can also jump them. Every character has a generic forward and back throw. If you do get thrown, you do have an opportunity to tech the throw. Now it is a 50-50 guess on whether they're going to do the forward or back throw. If you think they're going to do a forward throw, you can tech with either 2 or 4, and if you think they're going to do a back throw, you can tech with either 1 and 3. If you tech incorrectly, it will say escape failed, and if you tech correctly, it will say throw escape. Teching throws are very hard to do because you have to do it on reaction, and most people who are new to the game would rather just duck and get a down 2 punish. In the long run, teching throws is much better, and then every now and then make the hard read and get that down 2 crushing blow. Now some characters also have command throws. Now command throws are also highs, well most of them are also highs, but command throws cannot be teched. You have to either duck or jump them. Now some characters have mid command grabs. Mid command grabs, you have to jump. You cannot duck them, you have to jump. You can also short hop them, which is just tapping up. The only characters that have mid-command grabs are Kotal Khan, Robocop, Gearus, and Collector. And then finally, there are a couple of unblockables in the game. The only thing you can do is you have to dodge the unblockable. Another example is Shiva's Stomp. You have to backdash or forward dash it, and from that you can get a full combo punish. Apart from Shiva, I'm pretty sure the only other character that has an unblockable is Kotal Khan, and you avoid that by just jumping most of the time. Now we're going to talk about frame data, and everyone sees these numbers and they just start panicking. What is all this? I'm not good at mathematics, and I'm here to tell you it is very easy to understand. To keep things simple, I am only going to talk about startup frames and block advantage. In fact, that is all you need to know. What are startup frames and block advantage? Do not worry about anything else. So first of all, we're going to look at Straight Punch Scorpion Stand 1. You can see it has a startup of 7 frames. What does startup mean? Startup frames is just how fast the move comes out. So when you're looking at the number, the lower the number, the faster it is. Obviously, the faster the move is, the better it is. So to keep things simple, the lower the number, the better the move is when it comes to startup. So as you saw, 7 frames is pretty quick. Let's now compare it to another move. This is back 1. You can see its startup is 14 frames, and you can definitely tell it is much slower than the jab. It's pretty easy to understand, right? Just a heads up, don't look at the startup of the combo attacks because it only shows a startup of the last hit, which we don't really care about. We want to know what the startup of the first hit is, so you have to go to basic attacks to see what the startup of the first hit is. Now we're going to talk about block advantage. Block advantage only comes into consideration when the move is blocked. If it's not blocked, well then you don't have to worry about it. So we are going to look at Scorpion's Amplified Teleport. As you can see, it has a block advantage of -14. What does this mean? It means when this move is blocked, the opponent, in this case Sub-Zero, can act 14 frames before Scorpion, which means he can do anything 14 frames before Scorpion. He can jump 14 frames before Scorpion, he can block, whatever it is, he can do 14 frames before Scorpion. If you see minus, that means it is Sub-Zero's turn. Now, what does it mean if the block advantage is not minus but is plus? So we're going to have a look at Scorpion's 2-1-2. As you can see, it is +7. Basically, it means that now Scorpion can act 7 frames before Sub-Zero can, in this case by 7 frames. So when you use a move that is plus, it means it is still your turn. You should continue pushing buttons. In summary, minus, it is not your turn, plus, it is your turn. Now going back to Scorpion's Amplified Teleport, which has a block advantage of -14. -14 is really bad. Why is it really bad? I'm gonna now change to Sub-Zero and I'm gonna record Scorpion doing the Amplified Teleport. You do this by going into AI options, enemy type record, and then you accept that, and then you just record Scorpion doing what you want him to do. Now we're gonna have a look at Sub-Zero's move list, and the reason why -14 block advantage is really bad is because Sub-Zero can use any move that has a startup frame of 13 frames or quicker to punish -14. So for example, we're going to have a look at his back 3 Shin Shatter, which has a startup frame of 13 frames exactly. And if you time it correctly, Scorpion will do his teleport. There it is. It even says punish for you. Missed it that time. There it is. If you time it correctly, it will be a punish. What does punish mean? Punish means that Scorpion cannot do anything. He is going to take that hit no matter what. Now if it doesn't say punish me as the Sub-Zero is too slow. I'm doing it too slow. See, not a punish, it's because I'm not reacting. Or there we go, that time I did it correctly. Now the reason why it's kind of tough is because this move is 13 frames and the teleport is -14. It's quite a tough link. You have to be within 1 frame. So let's look at another move. Okay, Sub-Zero stand 1. It is 8 frames. It's less than 13. Easy punish. And because it's even faster than the move before, it's much easier to punish. There we go, punish every single time. And what's awesome about this is his stand 1 can lead to a full combo. This is guaranteed damage that Scorpion is going to take. Finally, let's take a look at a move that is 14 frames or more. So in this case, Sub-Zero's back 2 is exactly 14 frames. So technically, this should not be able to punish. Let's see. No punish. Okay, we still got a hit, but that's because Scorpion's not blocking. Okay, I've set Scorpion to now block after the teleport, and as you can see, no matter how quick I do it, it will never ever punish because it is not 13 frames or quicker. So now you know how to find moves that are punishable and how to punish them. So now we're going to move on and talk about how to combo. So you've got basic attacks, combo attacks or strings, and then special moves. So basic attacks are just your 1-button moves, but then your combo attacks or combo strings are a sequence of buttons. And to get your combo attacks to work in MK11 or all NRS games, they use a dial-in system. What that means is you do not have to time each attack. What you do is you input the string as fast as possible. So for example, you don't try and time each hit 1, 2, 3. No, you just do 1, 2, 3. As fast as you can, and it will come out no matter what. So to be able to combo in Mortal Kombat 11, you need to know, the only thing you really need to know how to do is how to special cancel. You can special cancel from basic attacks as well as some strings. You special cancel into a special move. In this case, we are going to special cancel into Scorpion's teleport. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to use Scorpion's back 1 string. So Scorpion can do back 1 4, or you can do back 1 4 1, or you can do back 1 4 3. So in this specific case, Scorpion can only special cancel from back 1 4. He can't do it from the other 2 strings. So with that being said, you're just going to have to test from which normals and strings you can special cancel from. You can also do it just straight from back 1 as well. So the secret to special cancelling is you have to input the special move before the animation of the string ends. So in this case, you have to input it before this animation ends. So once again, it's kind of like a dial in. You don't have to time it. You just input it as soon as you can. If you try to time it like this, you can see I try to time it. It's not going to come out. So you got to do it like a dial in. So look at my inputs. I'm finished inputting. Finish inputting now. Finish inputting now. Finish inputting now. So obviously if you're just using a 1-button move that is extremely quick, you got to be very fast with the input because you got to input the special move before the animation ends. It is not impossible, so you can do it, but it is tough. With Scorpion in particular, you're never going to do 1 into teleport. You're always going to do 1 into teleport. So how do you turn this into a combo? Well, firstly, we can amplify teleport. To amplify, you just you do the special move and then you just mash the amplify button until you see the flash animation come out. So now at the end of the string into special move you just learned, you mash the amplify button and you get this 155 damage combo. Combos in MK11, you basically just follow this general guideline. String into special move, string into special move, and you just repeat that process until the combo is finished. So let's try and do back 1-3 teleport amp into back 1-3 teleport again. As you can see, it misses, so we're going to have to pick a different string after the launcher. So in this case, we are going to use Scorpion's flick kick, his forward 3. Can this be special cancelled? Yes, it can. So now, after the amplified teleport, we do forward 3 into teleport, and have a look at that. It comboed into a 22% combo. So now instead of ending in teleport, let's try a different special move. We can try spear, and boom, have a look at that, 26% now. And so you can see it's essentially, you know, string cancelled into special move, string cancelled into special move, and that is how you build combos in Mortal Kombat 11. Now, another thing I want to quickly show you is Scorpion's 4-2-3. Now, you can see the second hit has 2 hits. Now, you cannot special cancel after the low. It just does not let you do that. However, you can still special cancel after the overhead if you input it quick enough. So now I'm going to do 4-2-3 teleport amplify, 4-2-3 teleport, and as you can see, 26% once again. And now I'm going to try and end in the spear. Oh, we've now got to 30%, and that was very, very easy. And so now, having learned that, you can try and create your own combos. For example, Scorpion can get a damage buff and go into a more creative combo. And wow, hello? So I also want to quickly go over jump in attack. So from your jump 1 and your jump 2, you can dial them into strings, straight into any string into the game, and they will actually combo. So you can see that string is normally a 3-hit string, but if you use a jump in attack, it becomes a 4-hit string. And so that means from a jump 1 or jump 2, you can get a full combo if you know what they are. Now you can't dial in from jump in kicks, but you can special cancel. But since jump in kicks do a little bit of a launcher, if you're quick enough, you can do a dash into a combo or into a string. So now we can go into slightly more advanced stuff. So for example, you can record the opponent doing a jump in, and you can try and figure out what is the best anti-air to use. So you can, in this case, you can use a down 2, or you can try and do a stand 1. You just got to mix it up with your character and try and find out what you think is the most consistent anti-air against jump ins. Now jump in kicks specifically in this game are super strong and are very sketchy to anti-air. And now some even more advanced stuff that you probably don't need to worry about, but I'm just going to show it anyway, is you can practice, you know, from a jump in, you can practice flawless blocking. So flawless blocking, you just got to do or hit the block button right as they're about to hit you, and then you can do either up 2 or up 3, and up 2 will lead to a full combo, and up 3 will just be an invincible move which leads to a decent amount of damage. You can also do up 3 and up 2 from a wake up. Now to do this, when you get knocked down, you just spam the button. You just spam either up 2 or up 3 and it will come out. You just spam them at the same time. Another mechanic when you get knocked down is a roll. Now this one you cannot spam. You have to perfectly time this to do this. You have to, you know, push in the direction you want to go, and you click the stand switch button. You push them at the same time, and you have to time it. It's kind of difficult at first, but once you get the timing, it's not too hard. Oh, and then finally, if you get knocked down, you can also delay wake up. You just hold the stand switch button when you get knocked down, and then you can do like delayed wake up into buttons or something like that. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is literally like 80% of what you need to know, 90%, probably even more of what you need to know of how to play Mortal Kombat 11. It's a pretty simple game in terms of fighting games. It's not too hard to learn. If you're wondering about which character to pick, honestly, just pick the character that you think is the coolest or the most fun. All characters online are good enough to do well. Maybe someone like Fujin is super hard, so maybe stay away from someone like Fujin, but you could probably still make it work. Everyone else is pretty easy in my opinion. A lot of people start with Scorpion, Liu Kang, or Scorpion. Not Scorpion again, I mean Sub-Zero. And a good zoning character to start with is Jade as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing I forgot to mention is to do a breakaway, if you've got 2 bars of defensive meter, you have to push down and the block button at the same time when you get launched. I didn't talk too much about meter, so you know, you just gotta figure that out by yourself. And that is me. I think I'm done with talking. Good luck if this is your first fighting game.